Hey friends, a very good evening and thank you for joining in. Could you please confirm in the chat window if I'm visible and audible clearly? I'll also check from my end just to make sure that everything is as expected. So, hey folks. Am I visible and audible clearly? I'll get started with the session in a few minutes. Okay, cool. So thank you folks. Okay. Okay. So everything is looking good. That's good to know. So we'll wait for a few minutes for everyone to join in. As usual, we try to join a few minutes early to avoid any technical glitches. So Suhail has a question which is doubts posted in the comment section. You'll get, so the way it works is when you post a doubt in the comment section, we answer it in the comment section itself. Others also can see it, and you will also get an email saying that, hey, for your doubt that you have asked, this is the answer. And you can keep asking follow-up questions there itself, right? Again, the reason we recommend you ask questions in the comment section is because if your question is good, we give it an admin vote. If it's very interesting, we give it an admin vote. Other students also can give it a vote so that it pops up. It'll help other students also learn and get more clarification based on others' questions, right? I hope you get that, right? So this is from Ramakrishna. So he said, I've been preparing for GATE for 2 years, but without consistency, and this is my final attempt, but no clarity on concepts. Ramakrishna, if you're not conceptually clear, you have to start as if you're preparing it for the first time. Because if you're not sure, at least I'm sure for some subjects you have conceptual clarity, for some subjects you don't. So if you don't have conceptual clarity, you'll have to start as if you're doing this subject for the very first time. Go through it step by step, learn each concept, practice. The same suggestions that we give to somebody who's preparing for the first time. There is no difference. If you already have conceptual clarity, then you can directly jump to practice problems or subject tests and things like that to see where your gaps are and only fill in those gaps, right? That's what we recommend. I mean, if you're not comfortable with concepts, it's better to go back. Cool. Okay. So Sudhanshu says, can you please make a video on the Power of Habits book? There is already a video, right, on our YouTube channel, where we take some of the lessons. I mean, it's one of my favorite books, also a favorite book of a lot of our mentors. So we have taken some of the core ideas from there and translated them to your GATE preparation. So there is this video called How to be Persistent and Consistent in your GATE preparation. So please check it out. So test series, hopefully, I mean, it's in June for sure, but not on the 1st of June. Today is the 1st of June. We will do it hopefully by middle of June. We are in the final stages of getting everything ready. So Rish asks, should I join IIIT Delhi or drop one more year? Since you don't have a job, Rish, as you mentioned in your comment, it's better to join IIIT Delhi, excel there, like be the topper at IIIT Delhi instead of dropping one more year. Put in all that effort to be a topper at IIIT Delhi. You get pretty good placements if you're a topper at IIIT Delhi. So I would say don't drop in a year. Go for your masters. Do well during your masters. In the long run, it's your skills that matter. Whether you come from Stanford or MIT or IIT, doesn't matter. Of course, it matters at the very entry point into a job. But let's say you from IIIT Delhi, you go to Amazon versus somebody who is from Stanford who goes to Amazon. There is hardly any difference after that. Both of you have to perform and excel to keep going up in the ladder, right? Suppose you do a startup, your customers don't care. Your customers only care about the product that you build, right? And what services you're providing at what cost, right? So in the long run, it all may not matter. So please don't drop a year. Given that you don't have a job offer right now, it's better to join IIIT Delhi. So, okay. If test series of 2022 comes, will test series of 2021 be removed? No. So all course enrolled students will have access to test series 2022 and test series 2021. So you'll have access to 2 test series, right? Of course, people who enroll for test series 2022 will only get test series 2022, right? I hope that is clear. So somebody is asking about PSUs for CSC. Unfortunately, there are very few PSUs for CSC. We have done interviews of some of our students who went through the PSU loop. They're available. Of course, we did them, I think, sometime around the same time last year or probably a little later. So please check those videos on our YouTube channel. Things haven't changed significantly, right? The entry criteria or the entrance exam for Bhabha Atomic Research Center or for ISRO, right, for DRDO, they are all more or less the same, right? A notification has to come out, and as soon as the notification comes out, the process starts, right? So we have some of the videos from some of our students who went through the PSU route last year, some of them even toppers. So please check those videos on our YouTube channel. So I think somebody is asking about scholarship test. I think we mentioned this in the previous live sessions also, that as soon as this COVID wave reduces slightly, which is thankfully on the downturn, except in some major cities of south of India, and as soon as semester and exams are over for most colleges, we will announce the scholarship test, and we will give all the content that is needed to prepare for scholarship test itself freely available to everyone, right? Just like last year, nothing changes. It is the same format, it is the same process, and we don't give scholarship discounts for 2 or 3 people. We give it for like 200 people, right? So that's why we take it very, very seriously when we conduct these tests. So somebody is asking about placements at IISc this year. So I work very closely with the computer science department. I also do some coding boot camps, machine learning boot camps with the computer science department at IISc. I did one of them in I think Jan and Feb of this year. We'll be doing one more hopefully from next month or so. So I know the placement scenario well. There have been slight glitches. Again, that's primarily because campus placements in the sense of the classical campus placements haven't happened because of lockdowns and issues like that. But I think vast majority of students are placed. There are a few people who are still left. Small minority of people who are left, but I think they still have a semester to go, right? Almost like, they still have a month or 2 to go. Again, if you're talking about second year students, their placements got delayed a lot, right? So it's going slightly slower, but I hope, again, I know this firsthand because my batch was the 2008-9 recession batch. So even in my batch at IISc, placements were slightly delayed because of recession, the number of companies that came and things like that. This time they are delayed slightly because of COVID. But within a month or 2 of graduating, most of the other students also will get placed. It's nothing to be worried about. Again, you have all the skills that the market needs. So what to worry about, right? Cool. So let's get started with with today's live session. Let's get into DLD. There is a minor announcement that I have to make. Let me start sharing my screen. Okay, could you please confirm if my screen is visible? Just a second. Let me open it on my phone also. Okay, is my screen visible? We'll get started. I'll take the Q&A again at the end of the session. Let's get started with today's session first. Okay, my screen is visible, right? Cool. So let's get started. So this is digital logic design, the first live session. I believe there are 3 live sessions for DLD, and the topic is number systems and Boolean expressions. You can easily expect 2 to 3 marks from these topics, right? Again, Boolean expressions can be simplified using the loss of Boolean expressions, or you can do it using Karnaugh maps. So the next session will see Karnaugh maps, or also called as K maps. But number systems and basics of Boolean expressions, you can expect 2 to 3 marks. As per suggestions and very constructive feedback that some of our students have given, especially students who are in the 3rd year right now, who are preparing for placements. So some of them have reached out to us and said, could you please move C data structures and algorithms up in our calendar, right? In our calendar of events. Actually, I think after DLD, we have other subjects before we start with C data structures algorithms. So some of the students, especially students who are in the third year right now, or who are just finishing their third year or finishing their sixth semester, have reached out to us and said, hey, we have placements come the next semester. So can we do C data structures algorithms so that we can prepare these subjects as well as prepare for placement simultaneously. So we have reordered the whole calendar. Again, please go to the Google Sheet that we have shared multiple times. I believe it is also, let me see if my team has, hey team, can you please pin the calendar or the schedule of events at the top, please? Can you please do that at the top of the comments, right? So that students can go and see that schedule. So as soon as we finish DLT, I think we have 3 sessions for DLT. As soon as we finish that, we will start C data structures and algorithms. Again, this reshuffling has been done primarily to help students for their placements. This is an announcement I just wanted to call out. Okay, so let's get started with today's session. I'll take the Q&A at the end as usual. Cool. Here comes your first question. Again, let's focus on answering the questions while the discussion is going on. I will not take general questions while we are answering. Let's focus on this. I will answer your general questions at the end. Folks, please focus on answering the question. I will take general questions at the end of it. The schedule sheet has been pinned at the top of the comment section by our team. So you can go there and check it. It's a Google Doc with the whole schedule. We have been sharing this in the past also. Let us focus on answering the questions. We'll do general Q&A a little later at the end of the session. Remember, most of digital logic design are easy questions. Only in like synchronous circuits, you might have a slightly tricky question, but most of them are easy. So please don't make silly mistakes. Those of you who have put in your answer, please recheck it. Please don't make silly mistakes for simpler questions like these. Please don't make silly mistakes. This is a fairly simple, easy to score question. I think for most of these concepts, the course videos, I think all of them are freely available to everyone. I see some of you making silly mistakes. Please correct your answers. To put it simply, this question actually is an easy question by gate standards, but it is slightly tricky. You can easily make silly mistakes if you don't follow the steps carefully. This is easy but slightly tricky. Not actually very tricky, slightly tricky. If you follow the steps, you'll get the answer very easily. I see a lot of you making mistakes, surprisingly. Okay, so let's answer this. Maybe I made a mistake in my answer. So let's go through this. So you're given two statements and you have to pick which of them are true, right? The 2's complement signed binary number. So this binary number is a 2's complement signed binary number, right? Results in a remainder value of 0 when divided by this number. Remember, both these numbers are in 2's complement signed binary number representation. So first let's take this number, right? This number is 111001100. This is in 2's complement, right? How do you get 1's complement from this? Subtract 1, right? If you subtract 1 from this, you will get 1's complement, right? Because if you add 1 to 1's complement, you get 2's complement, right? Basic concepts of complementation, right? So when you have 1's complement here, what happens? So look at this. So this is 100, this becomes 011. Then rest everything stays the same. 11, 00, 111. This is a 1's complement. Now what is the actual binary number? Look at this. What is the actual binary number? Again, remember it's a signed binary number. And so since this is signed binary number, it's in 2's complement form. What is the 1's complement for this? Let's see. So 000, 11, 00, 100. Right? This is what it is. Now what is this? This is 2 power 2, right? 3, 4, 5. This is 2 power 5. This is 2 power 6. So 2 power 6 plus 2 power 5 plus 2 power 2, right? Which is 64 plus 32 plus 4, right? 64 plus 32 plus 4. This is 100, right? This whole thing is 100. Now, since this is in 2's complement form, this value is equals to minus 100, right? So this value is minus 100. Now, what about this value? Same steps, right? You have 111, 00, 111. This is 2's complement. How do you get 1's complement? Subtract 1 from this. 111, 00, 0, sorry, my bad. Okay. 111, 00, 110. This is 1's complement. So if you get 1's complement, what is binary now? 000, 11, 00, 1. Right? This is the binary. And since this is in 2's complement signed binary, it will be minus. So this is 1. This is 2 power 0, 2 power 1, 2 power 2, 2 power 3, which is 8, 2 power 4, which is 16. 16 plus 8 plus 1 is 25. So this number is minus 25. So what is the statement saying? The 2's complement signed binary number, which is this, which is minus 100, results in a value of 0 when divided by minus 25. Exactly. Look at this, minus 100 divided by minus 25. What is the remainder? Remainder value is 0. So statement 1 is true. All you needed to do was convert this 2's complement signed binary into decimal. Similarly, convert this back to decimal and do the simple compute the remainder value. That's all. Simple steps. From 2's complement, you can go to 1's complement. From 1's complement, you can go to binary and you have a signed binary number. So you'll get minus 100 and minus 25. You're done. Very simple logic here, right? If you think about it. Okay, cool. Now, what about this? Okay, so let's look at the second part here. Okay, so let me change the color. The number of bits required to represent minus 64 in a signed 2's complement is 5 bits. Look at this. This is something that we also described in the course videos, that if you have n bits, let's say you might have n bits. With n bits, if I'm using signed 2's complement, what is the range of numbers I can cover with n bits? I can cover from minus 2 power n minus 1 to 2 power n minus 1, 2 power n minus 1 minus 1, right? Yeah, this is the range of values that I can cover using signed 2's complement with n bits. So what is given to me here is there are 5 bits, but this is the range of values that I can cover. Now, we want to represent 64 here, right? So what does it mean? The 64 should lie in this range. So I want to find, my challenge here is, what is the minimum n such that 64 lies within this range? Oh, sorry, minus 64, not plus 64. Minus 64 lies in this range, which means minus 64 should be greater than equal to, right? Should be greater than equal to minus 2 power n minus 1, because minus 64 should be equal to this or greater than this, right? Because it's a negative value, right? So this inequality, if you just write it, now how do you solve for n now in this inequality? Multiply both sides by minus 1, then 64 should be less than equal to 2 power n minus 1. And what is 64? 64 is 2 power 6, right? Which means 6 is less than equal to n minus 1, taking log on both sides, right? Which means your n is greater than equal to minus 1 becomes 7, right? Minus 1 becomes plus 1, so you get n greater than equal to 7, which means the minimum value of n such that minus 64 can be represented using sine 2's complement equals to 7, not 5. You can't represent it using 5 bits. Right? Again, I'm just doing it step by step carefully, but even logically you can say with 5 bits, how can you represent minus 64? Right? I mean, this again, you have the negative sign also. You have to account for that also. Right? So this, even without doing this whole thing, you can say with 5 bits, you can't represent it, because with 5 bits, you can only represent 0 to 31, right? In the general binary system, right? In a 2's complement binary, again, you can just apply this formula and you'll get the range of numbers. Right, so the answer actually is 7 and not 5, so 2 is wrong. So the only option that is correct is 1. So simply put, 1, only the first option is correct. Right, simple logic, right? I hope you got it. Again, some of you got 4. You said neither 1 nor 2 is true. Like, I think you understood 2, probably you made a mistake somewhere in translating these 2's complement signed binary numbers to regular binary numbers, right? Is there a problem somewhere? No, so I think, remember, the question clearly says that the 2's complement signed binary number so and so results in the remainder 0 when divided by this. So the question itself is framed that all the numbers that you have are in 2's complement signed binary, right? That's self-explanatory, isn't it? Right? I mean, you can, I mean, this is almost self-explanatory, because nowhere it is, because the question starts with in the 2's complement signed binary, right? So it starts with that. So it is self-explanatory that this number as well as this number, both of them are in 2's complement signed binary representation. Okay, simple logic. Again, there are many ways to solve it. I'm just trying to solve it step by step so that it's easier for you. Again, some of our teammates are answering follow-up questions. Second number is not said to be in 2's complement. No, that's implicit in the statement itself, right? I don't know what will happen if, I mean, imagine if this similar question was asked in GATE, and if you raise a complaint, they might say, isn't it self-explanatory from here, right? That we are using a 2's complement signed binary numbers, right? So again, or probably another addition could have been made which says 2's in the 2's complement signed binary representation, right? Comma, then this would have avoided some of that confusion, but we felt that this is a straightforward statement. Okay, cool. So let's go to the second question now. I think it's the same thing. So 2's complement signed binary representation is same as take a number, represent it using 2's complement binary representation. It's the same thing. Okay, cool. So let's go to the second question. This is an MSQ. Again, most of digital logic design, just follow the steps. It is very, very simple and straightforward to score marks in. This is an MSQ, so please be careful. I get the confusion that some of you may have had with first question. That's understandable. Yeah, we could have also framed it with less confusion. I get the point. Probably that's why some of you said 4 instead of 1. Got it. it's an MSQ, so multiple options can be correct. We will answer general questions at the end of it. At this point, let's focus on solving the questions. One or more options can be correct here, so please be careful accordingly. Just to give you a hint, this is like a very easy question. I will not call it very easy, but I'll call it easy questions. But I see still students making mistakes. In an MSQ, if you give partially correct answers, you will get 0 marks. This is literally like a marks giveaway. Most likely this could be something like a 1 mark question. I've already given you a hint that this is an easy question. Just follow the steps. If you know how to convert from one base to another base, fractional numbers like this, it's straightforward. I think we explained this in the second or third video in the course videos. Okay, I'll go into the answer. Many of you got it right, which is good. So look at this. This is the number that we have. And if you see the options, you have base 8, base 16 and base 10, right? So let's see. So what you have is base 2, right? Simple base 2 fractional number. So 0.01111, right? So this is binary. This is base 2. So first let's convert it into base 8, right? How do you convert into base 8? 0. So this will be 0. Decimal points. Take 3 values. Take 3 values. 0, 1, 1, right? This is 3. Right, 0, 1, 1 is 3, right? Yeah. 1, 0, 1 is 5. So in base 8, it will be 0.35 base 8. So obviously 1 can't be the answer. Simple. What about base 16? So when you have to do base 16, just let me erase this. Very simple, right? This is like, so base 16. Okay, so it will be 0, 1, 1, 0. Sorry, my bad. 1 second. I always write this carefully because I've done these mistakes in the past. So we have this. So 4 digits. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Of course, there will be zeros after that. So 0,111 is 7, right? So 0.7. I'm talking about base 16. 0,100, which is 4. So it's 0.74 base 16. So option 2 is correct. Very simple. Now option 3 and option 4 are base 10. So we have gotten already base 8 and base 16. We just have to do base 10 now. Base 10 is very simple, right? So what do you have? You have 0.01101. So this is 1 by 2 power 0. This is 2 power 2. This is 1 by 4. This is 1 by 8. This is 1 by 16. This is 1 by 32. This is 1 by 64. So you just have to add 1 by 4 plus 1 by 8 plus 1 by 16 plus 1 by 64. Take a calculator. It takes 5 seconds to just do this. right? Just type in 1 by 4 plus 1 by 8, so on and so forth, and you'll get, I think you'll get an answer of 0.453125 base 10. I've done this on the calculator earlier, right? So 4 is the right answer. Obviously 3 is not. 2 and 4. Very simple question, very easy question by gate standards, typically like a 1 mark question. Right? Cool, sounds good. So let's go to the third question now. Very simple, easy to do. Cool. Standard number, so you will encounter some problems like these very often in gate. Just in case somebody is confused, when we say single precision floating point number, it is your IEEE what do you call it, single precision floating point number. Single precision float. It is not double precision float, right? Just to be clear, because I don't want that confusion again with the options. This is also a very standard type of question that's asked often in gate, where you're given either a hexadecimal number and asked to convert it into binary, or vice versa, or 2 decimal, right? This is a simple test about, do you understand how floating point numbers are represented internally? Again, this is important even from a programming perspective, because most programming languages use the IEEE format to represent float and doubles. Be careful, follow the steps carefully. DLD, just like compiler design, actually it's easier than compiler design because you just have to follow the steps. It's an MCQ, so only one option can be correct. This could be something like a 2 mark question. I already see people making mistakes, so please be careful. There is a very interesting trick that I follow whenever I have to convert into IEEE formats. I'll tell you that when I solve. I show that a lot of times in the course videos also. If you're a course enrolled student, or if you've seen the free videos, because some of these videos are freely available on our website, please follow the diagrammatic approach that I often follow when I solve similar problems in the course videos. That will help you minimize errors. Take your time, it's okay. But don't make mistakes. While this question is actually easy, by gate standards, this is sometimes considered as a medium level problem because a lot of students make mistakes or they can't solve these types of problems. Good, good, good. I see some of you who are taking time and solving it carefully. Good job. Very good job, folks. I'm happy that you're following the steps carefully, not making mistakes, getting the good answer and the correct answer. Somebody is asking if there is any shortcut. This is not a typical bank exam where there are aptitude shortcuts which are easy to get your answers, which are easy to get to answers fast. GATE is not an examination of speed. So instead of shortcuts, it focuses more on conceptual understanding. In things like bank exams, etc., speed is very, very important, and that's why shortcuts are helpful there. Here, follow the steps. You will get ample time for each question in the GATE setup. Just for the benefit of others, I've drawn the IEEE single precision floating point size. How many bits for sine, how many bits for adjusted exponent, how many bits for mantissa. This is the diagram that I always draw because this helps me get a clarity on how many bits should the adjusted exponent be, how many bits should the mantissa be, how many bits should the sine be, and then work out the details. I always draw this, like this is my visual way of imagining an IEEE 32-bit single precision floating point number. Okay, let's solve it anyway, since we are at it, right? So, okay. So whenever there is a problem like this, you might have seen this from our course videos and free videos and other live sessions also. I always draw this. Again, some people could skip it, but the advantage in this is this helps me get a clarity on how many bits I need to account for. Okay, first and foremost, you are given a decimal number. First, let's convert it into binary. How do you convert from decimal to binary? Very simple. You keep multiplying it by 2. So you have 46875 multiplied by 2. What do you get? You get 0.9375, right? Which is 0 plus this. Then you take 9375, multiplied by 2. You keep multiplying it by 2. Standard technique, right? Which will give you 1 plus 0.875. It gives you 1.875. We are just keeping this bit 1 and 0 because we'll concatenate all of them. Then you have 0.875. From here the math is easier. 0.875 into 2 is 1.75, which is 1 plus 0.75. Then you have 0.75 into 2, which is 1.5, which is 1 plus 0.5. 0.5 is 0.5 into 2, which is 1 plus 0.0. So how do you get the binary representation now? Very simple. You just concatenate all of these bits. Sorry, my bad. You just concatenate these bits, right? So this is equal to 0.01111 base 2, right? So this is equal to this. First, as soon as you get it, again, just follow the steps here. In all number representations, it's about following the steps, and the steps are very, very simple and straightforward. If you know them, they're literally like trivial to follow. A 10th class kid can follow the steps. It's that simple, right? So the moment you have a binary number like this, you want to transform it into this format, right? The standard format that we do is we have one bit before the decimal and the other bits after that. So 1, 1, 1. So if I move the decimal point 2 steps here, this will become 2 power minus 2, right? Because I'm moving the decimal place to the right to 2 steps. That's why I can write the same expression as this, of course, in base 2. I'm only talking about base 2 from now. Okay, so now what happens? What is this? Then what is my mantissa? Again, my mantissa is a normalized mantissa, which means I ignore this one. I only look at the rest of these bits. So my mantissa is 3 ones followed by all zeros. I got my mantissa now. Simple. I always fill these details. Now my exponent is minus 2. But I don't write minus 2 here because it's a negative number. I need to do an adjusted. So I need to do an adjusted exponent. How do you do an adjusted exponent in the IEEE 32-bit format floating point number? You take minus 2. Just follow the steps. Why we have these steps, we've explained in the course videos. Right? Why do we do the adjusted mantissa? Because we want to represent negative numbers. The why part we have explained in the course videos. Here it's about how to do it, right? Minus 2 plus 2 power 8 minus 1 minus 1. So this becomes minus 2 plus, because there are 8 bits here, right? So that's why 2 power 8 minus 1 minus 1, which is, this is 2 power 7, which is 120, 2 power 7 is 128 minus 1 is 127. So this becomes 125. So I have to represent 125 here. How do I represent 125? 8 bits I have, right? So 125 is, okay, so I know how to represent 120. Okay, so let's go and see. So 125 is basically 127 minus 1. Sorry, 127 minus 2. So if you have to start writing it, let me just use a different color here. So this will be 8 bits I have, right? 0, 111, 11, 0, 1. Now look at this. If I have 7 ones, right? If I have 7 ones, it is 127, right? Yes. So, and I'm removing 2 from here so as to get 125. Simple. My sign bit will be 0 because it's a positive number, right? So this is the number that I have. Now from this, I have to construct my hexadecimal representation. So my hexadecimal representation is take 4 bits. The first 4 bits is 3, right? So 1 can't be the answer. You can easily rule it out by just looking at this. Next, take the 4 bits. 1110. So 1110 is 4 ones is F. So 1110 is E in hexadecimal, right? EF, yes. So it is 3E. So this also can't be the answer. Simple. Next, look at this. You have 1111. Next 4 digits. 1111 is F. Okay, so 3EF, 3EF. Now if you observe the difference between them, this has 6 zeros, this has 5 zeros. So how many zeros will you have? Look at this. This whole thing is a 32-bit number, 32-bit binary number, right? 32-bit is basically 8 hexadecimal digits, right? Here, how many hexadecimal digits do you have? 3, 3, 3, 9 hexadecimal digits. This never can be the answer. It only has to be 8 hexadecimal digits, and rest everything is all zeros. So 3 is the answer. The steps are very simple, very straightforward steps. You just have to first, again, this is how I solve it. Each of you may have a different strategy. Please don't look for shortcuts. Follow the steps carefully. With practice, you'll get the speed, right? So this problem, you can solve it in like 3 minutes or so. If you're careful, if you go step by step. I think for explaining itself, I took some 4 minutes. So if you were to solve it, you can do it in 3 minutes. Okay. So you have just, I always draw this sort of diagram, sine, exponent, mantissa. I keep filling the details, right? Standard steps. Given a binary number, convert it into this standardized form with 1 value before the decimal, rest everything. This becomes your normalized mantissa. Adjust your exponent because you want to represent negative numbers. Sign, you're done. It's literally like 3-4 steps. If you're careful, with some practice, you can even do it in 2 minutes. Okay, straightforward question. But this is sometimes considered as a slightly tricky problem by some, but it's actually an easy problem. Okay, for problems like these, I've seen students who have some tricks that they solve, but the gate examiner sometimes give the questions where people who follow tricks will fall into a trap, right? So it's better to follow the steps carefully. That's what we would recommend. It's okay, folks. Some of you who are taking more time to solve it, it's okay. Don't worry about it. You're still early in your preparation. You're covering digital logic design for the first time. Even if you've taken 5 minutes to solve it now, it's okay. With a little bit of practice, by the time you come to the gate exam, you'll solve this in 2 to 3 minutes. Don't worry. Okay? Because you'll revise a lot. Cool. Sounds good. So let's go to the 4th problem now. This is a numerical answer type. Fairly simple problem. This is typically like a 1 mark problem. The question says the minimum number of literals. Okay. I hope the parentheses are clear. Let me just check. This is one chunk. This is another chunk. This is closed here. Yeah, the parentheses are correct. Again, I have defined what is a literal here. Oftentimes in GATE, they will not define it. They will expect you to know what a literal is. Just to avoid confusion, I have defined it here. In most GATE exams, they will not tell you what is a literal. You are expected to know that it is either a Boolean variable or its complement. This is just added in case you've forgotten it. But it's important to know what the definition of what a literal is. I see a lot of variability in answers. Let's see. Again, please take care of the parenthesization here. Look at the parentheses very carefully and solve it. This problem may be slightly tricky. It is easy but tricky because some people mess up the parenthesis. Again, this, okay, in case some of you are confused with it, I hope most of you know it. This is complement. This is the complement operation, right? I hope everybody knows that. Okay, since most of you have solved it, let me also solve it for you. So this is one, this is one expression. This is one expression. It's a product of these two expressions, complement, right? So this can be written as this expression, right? This expression complement, right? So this will be A, B complement A, this complement plus this whole second term complement, right? So AB complement B. So you have these two parts. Now let's apply the complement further, right? I'm just applying De Morgan's law, nothing very fancy. So AB complement will be AB plus A complement, right? So this is what you get from this. I simplified this. From this, what do you get? So there will also be complement. Yeah, there will also be complement here. I'm sorry. So this complement, the dot becomes plus this complement. Yes. So now AB complement will become AB plus B complement, right? We know that AB plus AB is AB itself. So this will become AB plus A complement plus B complement, right? So we already know this expression, right? So we already know that whenever we have A complement plus AB, right? This can be simplified as we have done a lot of problems similar to this in the course videos, which is if you have A complement, so suppose if you have X complement plus XY, this can be written as X complement plus Y, and we have proved this in the course videos, right? So same thing here, A complement plus AB is A complement plus B plus B complement. So B plus B complement is 1, right? So A complement plus 1, which is equals to 1. So how many literals do you have? A literal is a Boolean variable, not a Boolean constant or its complement. I don't have any Boolean variables here. I only have a Boolean constant. So the minimum number of literals is 0, right? It all required just simply applying De Morgan's law multiple times and using this simple observation that this can be simplified into A complement plus B. That's it. Just repeated application of De Morgan's law and simplification, right? I hope this is clear. Some of you got different answers, but again, this is actually easy question. But we know that people will make mistakes here because they'll mess up the parentheses, etc. So this is by gate standard mostly easy. You'll encounter problems like this, by the way. Again, this is a very, very useful, what do you call it? Very useful formula. Again, this is very simple to prove. This is a very useful formula that helps you simplify whenever you have these sorts of expressions, which is x dash plus xy can be written as x dash plus y. Again, we have solved a lot of problems which use this. This is again, a lot of gate questions. This sort of simplification is helps you a lot in solving the problems. This is something that typically people don't encounter or know of. So if you already don't know this, it's good to know. Most people know De Morgan's law and other stuff. So this is a good good law, or I don't know what is the name of this law. I don't remember it, but I remember it in this form. So if it's good to know this because it will help you simplify better. So this is easy plus slightly tricky. It's tricky because it's prone to errors. People will make errors. Okay, cool. So let's go to the fifth question now. 1 second. Let me. Okay, the question is clearly visible, right? Yeah, cool. Yeah, there are many ways of solving the previous question. There are many ways of solving it. What I showed you is one of the ways. Like Boolean expressions, there are many ways of simplifying. There is no one right way. This is a simple matching problem. Again, since this is an MCQ, you can do it quite fast if you can eliminate options. I think a lot of you are doing that, which is good. You don't have to match each of the elements in list 1 to each of the elements in list 2. Somebody said the option 5 is the right answer. Where is option 5, boss? There is no option 5. There are only 4 options. Very good, very good. Most of you got it correct. Okay, cool. So let me answer it since most of you got it right? So let's go with the first item in list 1. What is a dual of it? Dual basically means you convert each product into addition, right? What does dual mean? You change multiplications into additions, additions into multiplications. You change zeros into ones and ones into zeros, right? So these products become sum. So it's a dash plus b plus c dash. A dash plus b plus c dash. So only this option can be correct, nothing else, because there is only c here, right? This can't be the case. So a will match with 3, right? So a matches with 3. That will help you eliminate option 1 and option 2. It can only be option 3 or 4. Now the good thing in option 3 or 4 is look at what b matches with. B can either match with 1 or with 4. So let's go to b now, right? So you don't have to solve all 4 options because you can eliminate everything else, right? So what will B match to? So this could be minimized as, and it says 1 or 4. Okay, let's see. So you have, okay, so let's anyway solve this, right? So you have a dash b dash c plus a dash bc plus a b dash. So one thing that I see here is a dash c is common between these two, right? So you can just take a dash c as common, then you get b dash plus b, right? So this can be written as this plus a b dash. So this itself, b dash plus b is 1, right? So this whole thing becomes 1. So you get a dash c plus a b dash. So okay, so 4, right? 2 will match with 4, right? Because it is a dash c plus a b dash. Yes. So 3 can't be the answer. Without even checking C and D, you can easily go with option 4 and be done with it, right? That's what I think most of you have done. And literally, like, we're done. It's simple, right? So this is like a simple matching problem in GATE, typically like 1 mark questions from these topics. Cool. So let me go into the chat window and start taking questions. Give me a second, please. Let me also open the chat window here on my computer. Cool. I also have it on the phone anyway. So, okay. Will these recorded live sessions be on YouTube so that we can watch it at a later time? The public live sessions will be available for a while. The private ones will not be available, obviously, right? But for the course enrolled students, these will be added to the course structure so you can watch it at any time. So Harsh is saying about explicit and implicit mantises. I think we mentioned it in the course videos that IEEE uses the normalized or implicit mantissa, right, with 1 value before the decimal place. Right? There is no confusion in the IEEE format. IEEE format generally tend to be fairly rigorous and no scope for confusion, right? So what we have done in the course, what we have just solved the problem that we have done, which is we put one binary digit before the decimal place in IEEE format, especially for the 32-bit representation. There might be other IEEE formats which might be different, but the IEEE format, as far as GATE syllabus is concerned, I think it's 754 if I'm not wrong. I keep forgetting these numbers, but I think that's what it is. Okay. Won't there be more questions? I think we mentioned this, right? That we are doing 5 questions. We're trying to do a 1-hour session instead of 2-hour sessions. And we also double the number of sessions, right? We're doing 2 sessions a week instead of 1. So 5 questions per session. Again, the course itself has like thousands of questions in case you want to look at them. IIIT Bangalore versus IIIT Delhi. I think, to the best of my knowledge, IIIT Bangalore could be preferred because it's closer to the IT hub, and I've seen some very good students come out of IIIT Bangalore because their curriculum is more programming centric, like IIIT Hyderabad or IIIT Allahabad, as compared to IIIT Delhi. So again, that is my personal opinion. I could be wrong here. If I were to pick with my limited knowledge, again, I've not done detailed analysis of placements and research work and coursework. With my limited knowledge, I think I'll still go for IIIT Bangalore. Again, if you have any further questions, email us. Our team has people who have studied at IIITs who can guide you better. Can we start with DS and Algo without covering math? Yeah, you can. Come on, that's very doable. So don't worry about it. Because in math, like for example, if you take graph theory in math, graph theory in mathematics is more focused on counting problems, like how many graphs are there, right? So graph theory in mathematics is more worried about computing metrics about a graph. Graph theory in algorithms is more about how do you find shortest paths, how do you traverse a graph. So more algorithm centric, while graph theory in mathematics is more about properties of graphs, right? So there's, of course, there is some overlap between them. At graduate level, they both simply join. But as far as GATE is concerned, there is a good separation between both. So don't worry about it. Somebody is asking how to manage the AI course and GATE course. Just again, if you have taken 2 courses, I think you have committed yourself to putting in like good amount of time. because GATE requires even for an average student about 3 hours of effort on regular basis. The applied AI course takes about 10 to 15 hours a week. So try to plan it accordingly. You can do applied AI course during weekends, and on the weekdays you can do GATE course. That's what I do a lot of times myself. Or you can do you can say mornings I'll do GATE course, evenings I'll do applied AI course, and things like that. So that's one way you can tackle it. Can we do a minimal form of option D in the previous question? What is the previous question? So what is the minimal form? So what is the answer for this question? I forgot actually. I didn't even solve the rest of the question actually. What is the question here? AB plus A dash C is the minimal form of. Hey, to answer that question, okay, now I get it. Okay, so you're talking about is the minimal form of this. Hey, you can simplify it, right? If you take the option 3 on the RHS for the previous question, right? So I'll just give you a quick idea on how to do it. You take this, again, you can also do it very easily using K-maps, right? If you don't want to do it, you can just take this, simplify it, you'll get this. I think I've not done it myself. Option 3 is the right option, right? I think it should be fairly easy to get to that, right? Just multiply, get all the terms, and just apply your standard formula that I explained you a while ago, right? This type of formula, right? So this type of formula, if you apply, I think you can easily simplify to this form. This is a very interesting formula that's often helpful in GATE. Okay, so should be straightforward. Again, if you're not able to do it, email us, we'll help you with it. But when you email us, just try to show your solution on a piece of paper so that we can better debug where you're stuck and help you accordingly. It should be straightforward. Cool. Okay, I'm just scrolling down. Is Booth's algorithm important for GATE? Sometimes you get that in GATE, sometimes you don't. So, I mean, you can never guess what the question will be. So it's better to prepare everything that's there, because you might get that question next year. You might not have gotten it in the last few years, but if you might get it next year. So don't skip it. Oh, somebody saying that's called consensus theorem. I forget the name. I only remember De Morgan's law. Everything else, I don't remember the names of these theorems. Yeah, thank you, folks. It's called consensus theorem, it seems. I'm very bad at remembering names of theorems. I know the theorem, I can prove it, but this happens even in machine learning. So I can prove things, but I forget the names of theorems. I have a bad memory with names in general. Cool. Okay, I think we've answered about I get demo 2 sets again for 2022 GATE. What is this 2 sets? We don't know that. Again, the official statement hasn't been given. So earlier, there was also this confusion this year, but unfortunately the GATE coordinators, because of COVID protocol, they wanted more social distancing in the examination hall. So they were forced to conduct 2 tests to avoid any risk of students getting infected. I mean, if you look at it from their viewpoint, what they've done is the right thing. But there were also concerns that set 1 was easier, set 2 was trickier. How would normalization work? Well, this is a very well-known statistically studied topic for almost like a couple of generations now. Like normalization of marks across examinations is a very well-studied concept in statistics. Like people have been doing it for almost, I think, 40-50 years now, probably even more. To my knowledge, they've been doing it for 40-50 years. So we don't know what the situation of COVID will be come next February. We don't know whether it will be 1 set or 2 sets. But again, it all depends on the situation. It could be 1 set, it could be multiple sets, it could even be 3 sets. We don't know. I get demotivated when I do practice tests even after understanding the concepts. What should I do? Good question. So Prashant, I'm sorry. Sorry. So when you're solving practice tests, remember that if you're getting 40% marks, that's okay. That happens to all of you. The first time you're learning a concept and solving practice questions, 40% is good. But whatever marks you get, even if you're getting only 20% marks, I think we discussed this method, right, on how to debug, how to actually build the problem solving skills themselves. I believe there is also a YouTube video on our channel which we posted a few weeks back when the whole problem solving session started, right? So please spend time on debugging what you don't know. Don't you know the concept? Have you not seen similar problems in the solved problems that we have already solved? Are you not able to connect the dots? Are you doing silly mistakes? It is the debugging process, just like code. Debug your thought process, because that will help you fix the bugs, right? Of course, we can help you, but we can't debug your process. Your debugging has to come from your own critical analysis of mistakes that you've made. Or why are you not able to solve it, right? Are you not drawing the diagrams? Are you not translating the question to concepts that you already know and to problem formats that you have already seen in solved problems? Very rarely you'll get an out-of-the-box question in Gate. Very, very rarely. Like, even if you skip those questions, right? 5% of questions which are extremely new format, skip them, the world isn't collapsing, because all you need to get is assuming the same format as previous years. If you get 70 marks, you're in golden zone. Okay. So, I mean, that's what we would recommend. Test series, I think I mentioned this earlier at the start of the session. Most likely we will launch it by middle of June, hopefully earlier than that, hopefully, right? We'll try and do it before middle of June, but let's keep it as middle of June because we don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. Again, somebody is saying, I got 9 marks out of 30. What is your suggestion? Same as what I've just told you. Debug your mistakes. Do it again. Be truthful to yourself. You need not tell anybody. Be truthful to yourself. You got like 30% marks. Where have you lost out? Like even in these 5 questions, right? I've seen only a handful of people who got 4 or more questions correctly. That happens. It is through these mistakes that you learn, but you have to spend time debugging why you made those mistakes. Should I refer any PYQ book? I think most of the PYQs are available on our website, if I'm not wrong. Let me just check. Gate.appliedroots.com. Yeah, so let me just show you. I think a good chunk of them are available. So if you just go here, okay, so there is this whole section called Gate PYQs. If you just click on it, you have from Gate, oh, I think we're yet, have you updated Gate 2021 here? Yeah, I think we'll update it quickly. So you have like a good chunk of papers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a good chunk of papers with questions, answers. I think some of them, okay, I'm just clicking some answer here. Okay, I need to log in. Okay, kill it. Okay, that's okay. So yeah, just tackle these questions. I think some of them have video answers. Some of them have text answers. At least in the course videos, a lot of these subjects have video answers to the best of my knowledge. You can also do subject wise and things like that. Some subjects are still pending. We'll keep adding them, but you can go like full exam wise, right? Cool. Sounds good. I hope again, of course, there are a lot of publicly available websites where you can get all the questions from previous year, sorted by topic, sorted by subject. It's just a Google search away, right? Okay, so cool. How many iterations should we revise and at what intervals? Again, I've answered this question earlier, but I'll repeat it for the benefit of everyone. Whatever you're learning in a week, revise it in the weekend. Whatever you're learning in a month, spend 2 or 3 days, revise everything once at the end of the month. Everything that you're learning in 3 months, try to revise it once. Finish all your subjects. The last stretch, maybe last 2 months, you can easily revise twice. Last 2 to 3 months, you can do 2 to 3 revisions. That's a nice strategy, right? Weekly, monthly, quarterly, as we call in business world. Once every 3 months is every quarterly. And the last stretch, last 2 to 3 months or last 2 months, we have seen people who just revised only for the last 40 days also last year. And they've done 2 revisions in 40 days thoroughly because they went, the first iteration is always the most important, folks. Please focus on it the most. The better you do it, the fewer errors you will make in the long run. But it's very easy to forget. Imagine if I studied, let's say, theory of computation last month. I can easily forget it if I'm not revising it, right? So revise it, and you can use practice tests which are like for every set of topics we have practice tests, for every subject we have subject tests, for every multiple subjects we have multiple subject tests. You can use these to pace your preparation and revision, right? Revision through practice problems is a great way. Revise your notes or revise the notes that we have given, tackle the questions. That's a better way to do it. Again, somebody is saying, good point, Anwar. So, watching videos is only one aspect of the whole learning process. We have seen students who just binge watch, who can't solve problems. Because when we try to explain the concept or when we solve the problem ourselves, it looks very easy. But when you have to solve it, you have to translate that learning and put it on a pen and paper. It's like, let me give you an example. It's like reading others' code versus writing your own code. Reading others' code, you'll say, hey, that's it. It's very simple. It's like 20 lines of code, some couple of for loops, some hash table here and there, I had done. But given the same problem, when you have to write code, it's a different ball game altogether. That's why we have so many solved problems in the course videos interspersed with all the concepts, because we want you to think about the problem solving approach that we have taken in the course videos. Now, when you come to the practice problems, you're only given question, you're not given an answer. On day 0, nobody is brilliant at it. Like when I started my GATE preparation, I was making tons of mistakes. I could not solve problems. Very common thing. You can only get through it by solving more problems, debugging why you're not able to solve, and working on it constructively. It's as simple as that. Like if you give me a new subject that let's say I'm learning a new subject, okay? And suppose you give me a subject that I've never studied, like something like some electronic subject, maybe advanced electronics, right? Or some advanced physics that I've never studied, right? Of course, suppose somebody teaches me well, I will learn the concept, but I'll also struggle with problems just like you, because it's a completely new domain for me, right? I will struggle a little. And with practice, that's the only way I become good at it. Even when I learn advanced mathematical concepts now from like really good research papers and textbooks, I struggle when I have to solve problems. It happens to all of us. It's only through a lot of practice that you get through that for any topic or subject. Not necessarily for GATE, but for programming, for anything, like even later in your career also. A very nice question. So Namrata says, I'm finding it difficult to keep up with peers who have already completed the syllabus and are attempting GATE second time. Namrata, that doesn't matter, because we have seen people who attempt GATE nth time, but they don't learn the concepts properly and they mess up GATE. By this argument, the first timer should never get good GATE ranks. But as you'll see, a good chunk of top 300 to 500 rankers are actually first timers. A good chunk. There are also some repeaters. I'm not saying there are no repeaters. I don't know the exact statistics, but there are a lot of first timers. So we have also seen students who finished their first preparation in December. Between Jan and Feb, the early Feb, they only did couple of revisions, but the first time they studied very, very well. And that's what got them into ranks. So don't compare your preparation with others. Everybody's preparation is different. Most importantly, be truthful to your preparation. When I say truthful, I mean solve the problems rigorously. Don't look at the solution the first time. Struggle through the process. If you're still not able to solve, debug yourself. You don't have to tell anybody. Debug yourself. Don't compare your progress with others. It's like comparing your salary with others' salary. It doesn't help you. It's only by building skills that you'll become better, right? Same story here. It doesn't matter where someone else's preparation is. It's your preparation and the truthfulness in your preparation that helps you. Okay, so there is a couple of people who requested this, which is, I think decidability topic is complex. Should I go deep into it or just leave it and move on? Again, Prashant, if you're spending a lot of time getting stuck on one concept, we strongly recommend that you give it a shot. Don't drop the whole topic. Give it a shot. Spend some time. Maybe if you're spending X hours, suppose if you're spending 1 hour for every hour of video for other topics, spend 1.5 hours here, maybe even 2 hours. Still, if you're not comfortable, leave it for now. Next time when you revise the subject, right, maybe at the end of the week or end of the month, then try to dig deeper. Because what happens in our learning is, when you're stuck with something, right, you leave it there, your brain tries to, I mean, this is a standard mental model of learning, that your brain tries to still make sense out of it. Like, I still remember when I tried to learn decidability, I learned it like the peeling of the onion. It never goes into your head the first time, right? First time I read it, I said, wow, this seems like magic. I'm talking about when I was in, I think, my BTech third year. First time I read it from Rajiv Motwani's book. It just launched when I was in my third year, thank God. And when I first started reading this book, I said, hey, this feels like magic, but I've not gotten it completely. Then I read it 2 more times over a period of time. Don't read it again, because immediately if you do it, your brain is not sinking the concept in. So my suggestion is, give it a good shot. If you're still not able to solve it, revise it after a week. Give it 1 more shot after a week, or maybe the third shot after a month. If you still don't get it, leave it. It's okay. You'll lose a couple of marks. That's okay. The world isn't collapsing. But I think you will get it with a couple of iterations. I strongly believe that. How many subjects to complete in 1 month to secure a good rank? Again, you don't get good rank by completing subjects. You get good rank by solving problems well. But in general, you can take, again, depending on the complexity of the subject, something like DLD, you can easily finish it in a couple of weeks. Easily. Something like data structures algorithms might take slightly more time, maybe 4 weeks or so, depending on the subject. Again, look at the amount of content that you have and pace it accordingly, right? We also have a schedule generator that can help you plan for it based on the amount of effort that we typically see students take. Cool. So how to start problem solving for placement after completing DS and Algo from Gate Applied? Okay, good question, Pratik. So again, depends on what companies you're interviewing for. So if you're interviewing for the top-notch product-based companies, what is there in Gate is not sufficient. Let's be realistic about it. Most importantly, Gate is a multiple choice type of question paper, right? Where you don't write code. It is very different from interviews at top product-based companies or even services companies where you often have to write code, right? Even for TCS, Code, Vita and other competitions, right? Which are for slightly better roles at services companies, you still have to write code. So the skills that are required, the concepts may be the same. Remember, the core concepts of which data structure to use where, all of that roughly the same between Gate and interview preparation. But the process is different. In Gate, you have multiple choice questions. I mean, I've seen a lot of toppers at Gate, including at top universities of India, who can't write bug-free, clean, optimized code. Full stop. Like I've interviewed from all of the top universities of the world, both undergraduate and graduate students. And I often, like in some of my interviews where I also want to test coding, I give them a standard machine learning function and tell them, like there is this thing called stochastic gradient descent algorithm in machine learning. I give them a slightly different setup and say, hey, implement this algorithm. Let's do 1 hour interview just on this one thing. Here we are trying to understand the conceptual clarity and implementing. People who come from top universities and top companies of the world, I've seen almost 80% of them can't write bug-free, working, optimized code. As simple as that. It's a very nice test. Same thing happens even for software engineering roles. So my suggestion for your preparation is as follows. Learn the core concepts, but practice a ton of programming. You have tons of these nice platforms. Again, if you are part of the placement prep course or the interview prep course, we solve 200 problems in the course videos and we have 300 practice problems. But if you're not part of our placement prep or interview prep course or Gate plus placement prep course, you have platforms like LeetCode where go write code or HackerRank, any of these good platforms, right? Go write code. While writing code, remember you have to handle boundary cases very gracefully. You have to think about what is the space and time complexity. Is what you're writing good enough? Always try to use the optimal data structures. Always use, the standard algorithmic patterns like divide and conquer, your standard dynamic programming, map problems to graph theory. In graph theory, you typically encounter DFS and BFS based problems. So implement, a very simple thing, right? Can you implement DFS bug-free code? Simple question. Pick a language of your choice, implement DFS and BFS bug-free. It's not trivial, by the way. I've seen a lot of candidates who can't do it. So all the algorithms that you're learning in the course videos, again, since we follow Corman or CLRS textbook, which is like literally an extremely well written, it handles most of the boundary cases. It does a very good job. So understand the code, translate that gracefully to the language of your choice. You're good. Okay. So as a first step, take all the algorithms that you learn, implement them in the programming language of your choice. That will give you the comfort first. That will give you, again, please write it bug free. Again, so you have these platforms like LeetCode and HackerRank, etc., where you can submit your code. It will test it across multiple test cases and see if there are bugs or boundary cases that you've missed. So it gives you quick feedback there, right? So please do that. That will help you enormously. This is a nice question. Can I prepare for product-based companies with gate preparation and job? You can, but remember that the gate is trying to test for slightly different things than product-based companies. So gate is looking for a breadth of knowledge across undergraduate subjects with medium or easy level questions. And its test format is multiple choice, fill in the blanks type of questions, because that's what it can easily do. I've talked to a few professors, very senior professors in the Institute of Science. When they joined in Institute of Science, the examination used to be subjective. And they say that was much better, but it cannot scale to like millions of students who take the gate exam now, right? So anyway, so that's a problem because of the volume of students who take the test. On the other hand, a product-based company says, I don't care if you know computer organization. I don't care if you know digital logic design. I want to know whether you know programming, data structures, algorithms. Can you write bug-free code? Can you, simply put, can you write bug-free, optimized, clean code? That's it, very simply put, right? Other skills, whatever subject is needed, we will teach you that, right? Even at top product-based companies, like when they go to campus placements or when they interview freshers, they don't ask you questions, hey, how does so-and-so cloud-based system work? That all you will learn. If your basics of data structures, algorithms, and programming are strong, you can learn any subject in computer science, because what you learn in databases is basically applied algorithms, to put it bluntly, right? So that is the core of it. That's what I mean. So they're testing for different things. So to answer your question specifically, while preparing for GATE, if you also want to prepare for product-based companies, you could consider the GATE plus placement prep course that we have, where the concepts are covered from the GATE perspective. So you're preparing for GATE, but you have about 500 problems that you can practice. Or if you're practicing on your own, my suggestion is this: please solve 500 good problems from LeetCode. Start with easy problems, go to medium, also go to harder questions, or from HackerRank, right? Or from Geeks for Geeks. There are tons of these platforms. Like there are literally, not millions, but certainly tens of thousands of questions publicly available. Take them, solve them, solve them, solve them. Write code. The most important, I've seen a lot of people who take a problem and say, hey, I can solve it using DP. This is the recursion. I'm done. No, please don't do that. Write the bottom-up DP from scratch. Write the code, handle the boundary cases, execute the code. That is very different from hand waving. Okay, so please do that. So can you please suggest textbooks? I think for some of the subjects we added textbooks, right? Anyway, I'll look it up. Actually, our team has created a collation of all the standard good textbooks. Probably I'll do a video also on that. I'll just talk to them and get the data, because I saw the data when they were creating it. We collaboratively did it, all of our mentors and teammates. We thought I'll cross check. I'll do a video on that for sure. Okay, so that's it. That's a good point. Can we watch recorded videos many times? Yes, you can watch them as many times as you want. Yeah, I know some online platforms which say, hey, you can only watch it twice, thrice. There is no such restriction. Please watch it, because we want you to understand the subject. That's most important. Okay, sounds good. So I think I've answered most of the questions. This is a nice question from Kushal. I think Kushal, your question was answered by one of our mentors. But anyway, I'll answer it. So he's saying I'm solving exercise problems from standard textbooks, but I don't know whether my solution is correct. Again, most standard textbooks have solution manuals that you can search online and get. That's one way to do it, right? So there is no other shortcut. So my suggestion to you, Kushal, to be honest with you, is there are already tens of thousands of questions on public forums. There are also previous year questions. If you're a course enrolled student, we have a nice curated list of questions, almost 5,000-6,000 that you'll have with the second test series. First, solve these because we have covered most of the standard textbook exercise problems in a gate format. If you're done with them and you still have time, then go to the standard textbooks, number one. When you're going through standard textbooks, you have to Google search for the key or the answer key or the solution key, or Google search that exact question. I'm sure some university would have given that as an exercise problem and things like that. You might find the solution that way. Otherwise, there is no straightforward way to validate your answer. Cool. Do we have extra questions for practice? Yeah, these questions are not part of our practice tests, subject tests, mock tests. These are additional questions that we're doing to keep our students on track with their preparation. Not just our course enrolled students, but also on a public forum like YouTube. So yeah, these questions are not part of our mock tests or practice tests or the 5,000 odd questions that we have in the course. These are not part of that. Okay, sounds good. Cool. I think that's all we had. Very nice question that Kiran has. How is your course different from other popular institute? Very nice question. Again, this is a very interesting lesson that I learned while working at Amazon. Amazon is very customer focused, not competition focused. It's a great life lesson that I've learned. So we try to be student focused and not competitor focused. That does not mean that we don't learn from competitors. I've learned a lot from competitors, and whatever we think is good for the students, we imbibe it. Number one. Number two is our course content, we have designed it not for you to just crack GATE, but for you to become a good lifelong engineer. That's our goal. That's very, very important. We don't want it to be a short-term thing. Other course, like I've seen some other courses, where the focus is only single-minded, just GATE. And the problem there is what happens after GATE, whether you crack GATE or you don't crack GATE. What after that? That's why our course has been created with a lot of applied focus, because whether you crack GATE or don't crack GATE, you still should be able to take these learnings to be a good engineer lifelong. That's very important. That is as far as course creation is concerned. The other very, very fundamental difference that we felt as students ourselves was, if a student is stuck, we want to help them get unstuck, right? That's why 90% of our time actually goes into mentorship, wherein a student, like we already get like hundreds of questions every day over email, comment section, etc. We have like a fairly dedicated team which tries to answer within just few hours if it is day hours and things like that, right? So the objective here is wherever a student is stuck, instead of just blabbering on a live session with some 10 questions here and there. I know that in live sessions, you can't answer every question. If you have hundreds of students, it's impossible. So we want to give that personalized attention to each student's doubts and clarify them. That is very, very important. I think that is extremely important for a student to succeed. Again, we thought about it by putting ourselves in the student's shoes. And next, coming to practice itself, we thought there is no point bombarding students with 20,000, 30,000 questions. Let's curate a good set of questions that we know, because we've been seeing GATE questions for so long, that if they solve all these questions genuinely and thoroughly, they can crack GATE. Obviously, we also want to be much more affordable as compared to others, right? Because we are not a billion-dollar company which has VCs on top of our head who say, hey, you have to churn money. We are self-funded. We have been bootstrapped. We are proud of that. And it helps us serve our students better, right? So I hope this gives you a clarity. Cool. Any other questions here? A very nice question again. This is from Suhail, who says, is it okay to take a break between your preparation? Very nice question, Suhail. I wanted to, I was happy that you asked it. So to answer that question, sometimes we all have our own emotional roller coaster. We feel low, we feel down. I'll tell you a couple of strategies that work for me, to be honest with you. Like, I also go through that. It's sometimes strenuous and things like that. I love eating food. I love the world cuisine, right? So if I'm down, I stop working for half a day, or even sometimes just a few hours. If you have the luxury, take a day break, complete day, take a break. Watch the movies, binge watch some Netflix or Amazon Prime, whatever you like. Like, I watch a lot of documentaries because I love history and things like that. I eat the best food that I can get or that I can make. Sometimes I make food because I love making food also. That's like my stress buster. And I sleep a lot, right? So these things help me get out of the stressful mode. Within half a day, I'm like fully recharged. So it is very important that if you feel stressed, if you're feeling little burnt out, if you have the luxury of it, I don't have the luxury of taking a few days break because of so many things that I have to work on. But if you have the luxury, take a day break, take 2 days break is also all right. Take breaks in between. That's perfectly all right. Spend time with family, chit chat with friends, do things that you enjoy. Get your head out of that headaches, out of the pressure. If you feel too much like a pressure cooker, take a break. It's very, very helpful. I do it. I mean, I try to squeeze in half a day break once every couple of months, and it's necessary. Otherwise, I also know that I'll burn out, right? So very common stuff. Helps you a lot. Can we join Applied Gate team in future? Sure. Like, we are purely meritocratic when we hire people, and like a lot of our hiring happens agnostic to the college you come from. Like, I've seen this that people, like, we have internship drives even for Gate, right? We are fairly agnostic. We say, we just give you a test. If you do well, we interview, we take. I don't care whether you come from Stanford or the smallest engineering college in Hyderabad or in any other tier 3 town or city. I don't care. You have the skills, prove it. Here is an exam, prove it. Here is an interview, prove it. Done. It's as simple as that. I hope, again, we try to do it as many times as possible, and we've had great results with it, right? I think the rest of the questions we have more or less answered. Anyway, thank you, folks. Thank you for your time, and good session it was. Again, before we part our ways, please stay safe, for God's sake. I've already started seeing people stepping out and mauj masti because they see the COVID wave going down. But please, if you can get vaccinated, I know some of you are in the younger population lot, but I believe most of you are 18 plus. If your city, government, company, or your colony, whatever it is, if they're providing a way for you to get vaccinated, please get it. Like most of our employees have been fortunate, at least those who are living in Hyderabad, that most of us got vaccinated, at least the first dose. So please participate in it. I had fever for a couple of days, but that's okay. Like last live session, right? I was actually having like 1 or 2 fever, but I said, let's not cancel it. Let's go ahead with it. It was okay. I mean, not a big deal. So having said that, please don't take it lightly, because in your gate preparation or otherwise, if you take it lightly enough and fall sick, you're going to lose almost 1 month. So let's not get our guard down. Double mask, wear shield if you can, step out only when necessary, get yourself vaccinated. Like, I believe it is my moral obligation to tell everyone on a platform like this. So please take care. Okay, folks, bye-bye. Have a good day.